Okay, well, I'll wait for some people to come on here. And tomorrow is April Fool's. So I'm looking for some new and improved ways to torture baby May. Anybody wants to help me? I'm open to suggestions. So let's see. I don't know how many people are on here, if anybody. Hope you can hear me, see me. Better if you could just hear me. I know that. And it's the end of March. So do me a solid and give me some ideas on April Fools. Let's see. What's this? Are those hula hoops in the thumbnail? Yeah, they sure are. Ashley, thank you. China Dave, my man, thank you. Hey, Charlie Jet, my man. What's going on, kids? Oh, good. See and hear me okay? Right on. Hey, Chuck. Red pill, blue pill. Watching from work, as everyone should. Hope you're not in a cubicle. Good morning, Fred. Thanks for joining in. Tell her you're bringing her to the U.S. April Fools. She already knows she doesn't have a passport, so that one wouldn't work. Something I can video. Let's go all in on this one. Hey, Fred, good afternoon. Yeah, I thank you for joining. I haven't been on in, I don't know, a long time. I haven't gone live. Airwaves have been crowded lately. And I never like to broadcast with somebody else's because it just dilutes it, takes away from them or whatever sometimes. What's up, Paul? How far from being a rock star? But speaking of rock stars, I'm going to do a third interview with Stash, and it's going to be a really good one. We're not going to talk about music. We're going to talk about his beginnings as far as coming over here, and his family is going to join. Stash, if you don't know, is a local musician who wrote a hit song back in the 60s or 70s or whatever it was called Don't Bogart Me, which is in the film Easy Rider and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, not to belabor it, but he had a great idea. He said, you know what? I would like to be on your program, and I would like to show that I'm a family man. And he actually adopted his wife's son, and they were married. And so he's going to talk to you about his family life. And I thought that would be a really good topic. I've never done that. I've never had the opportunity to meet somebody who's married with children and, Al Bundy, and just go over it. The wife and the kids and everybody else, the dog, they're all going to join in. So Woodland Hills, man, oh man, I got stories from Woodland Hills. I'm doing good, Ed Jolly. How are you? Thanks, Dave. Appreciate that. Remember, after hitting the like button, be sure to hydrate. It's a good time to acquire the rights on a resort which you and Paul could fill with interesting travelers. I'm retired. Yeah, it does. Good morning from Expat, living in the Philippines, now Expat in Egypt. Wow. That would be a cool place to go. I've always wanted to go see the pyramids and stuff like that. Oh, Upland Dave. God bless you, my buddy. Overall, how do I like the weather? It's almost like Vegas, to be honest with you. There's two seasons here, basically. There's rainy season, and then there's summer. And so we're in summer now, so it's hot. And but in Vegas, it would have about a 3-month window of really nice weather, which was basically April, May, June, March, April, May, maybe something like that. About a 3-month window of nice, not too hot, not too cold. The winters in Vegas could be brutal, even though they didn't get real cold with snow. It did snow there a number of times while I lived there. but there would be a wind. And so here is kind of the same thing. During the rainy season, it'll be overcast. It'll rain sometimes at like 3 a.m. till 6 a.m, then chill out, and then it's cool. So that's my favorite time, is when there's a lot of cloud cover, no rain. And that was, that just kind of passed. You and Mark. Oh, me and Mark should buy a resort. Hey, Jim, how you doing, man? Oh my gosh. Let's see, Upland Dave. 26,000, you're a rock star now, with a little green hair to set off. Yeah. Nice. My friend Gary wants to go there. So I would be interested if you could give me some feedback. I don't know if we're friends on Facebook, but maybe you could give me some feedback on that. For some reason, he seems to think that's where he wants to go. Oh, okay. You're in one of those underpriced condos right now. That's great. Well, thanks, Ed. Yeah, that phone was a lot of money. Appreciate it. That was way over my comfort zone, man. But I got my stimulus check, so I said, well, what the hell? I'll stimulate everybody. I've been meaning to do some car stuff, but I don't want to do it on this channel. I was going to do, and I still haven't done it because I'm the world's greatest procrastinator. And Mark and I were talking about this, my neighbor Mark, we've been collaborating a lot about doing some off topics. You know, we want to find a different venue to do it. So maybe once a month or twice a month, him and I are going to get together. And I don't think I'm going to start the membership thing. It's just too much of a, I don't want to charge, you know what I mean? Even if it's 99 cents, I don't want to, I feel weird about that. So I think what we're going to do is Mark and I are going to get together and we're going to have conversations and we're going to talk about anything and everything not about the Philippines. And I think, so I'm going to do some car stuff. But to directly answer your question, no. I don't have any connections. Tell her you're going to go fix this. Who's Barry Jordan? See how out of touch I am? Yeah, spring rocks. Really pretty weather there. Greetings to you, my friend Zane. Everything is good. April Fool's telling me who's in town and wants to get together to give her a kiss. Yeah, right. That's what I should do. Jean-Claude. It is 6:51 a.m. Nope. I have my regular coffee. What's up, David? I bought the car. Car had issues, which I knew going in, but I bought it really inexpensively. It was pretty cheap. So I have the car at my mechanics right now. The issues are the steering. They put in new rack and pinion, which they completely screwed up. And the air blows cool, not cold. And then just to top that off, the engine light came on yesterday. So I bought the car about 3-4 days ago, I think it was. I was going to have it inspected before I bought it. But I kept looking at the numbers and I kept looking at the car and online, not in person. And so I said, you know, I could put X amount of dollars into this car and make it perfect. And so that's what I did. I didn't jack around with the mechanic prior. I knew it had issues. And again, it's just a matter of finances, right? And so I have a mechanic that I really like and trust out here. And I told him, I just dropped the car off yesterday. I said, I don't care how long you have it. You can have it for 3 months. And if you got to order parts, just tell me and I'll come give you the money for the parts. And take your time. We basically bought it for rainy season. And I'm also trying to be preemptive with the fact that I'm getting older and my reflexes and my vision and my balance are not what they used to be, even 4 years ago when I first got here. So I thought, for safety, we need to get a car. And this car just presented itself. It found me. I didn't find it. And so I pulled the trigger and bought it. And I figured I'd make it into a project, and something to have in 6 months, if that's how long it takes to make the car right. I never buy anything I can't afford to walk away from. And so if there was an earthquake tomorrow and we had to leave, I could leave the car and I'd be okay with that. I could always sell the car if I had to, and break even or whatever. Let's see, I'm getting behind as usual. Okay, what time is it? 3 and 1 coffee. No, okay, here we go. Good morning, Paul. No, it's good to see you. I enjoyed baby interview with your baby sister and the little skirt that they did her interview with her baby sister. Yeah. May's my little hippie chick, She comes out with plaid skirts and bunny ears, and I never know what's going on. And she just did a video that's going to be real popular. Before I took the car into the shop, she invited 3 of her friends to come over and do a bikini car wash. So that should light up the haters. I'll get them all aflutter. Yeah. We'll go down by the river in your van. You'll love Chris Varley. Motivational speaker. We will. Thanks, brother. I will. I'll take her out. I was supposed to do an interview, if you will, with a new vlogger, and I think I'm going to just shine that on from now on. I think I'll go on their channel, but I'm not going to have them on mine. I should elaborate on that maybe, but I'll wait till somebody asks, hey, when there, what ID should I carry? Not passport, I hope. And how much cash should I keep in my pocket? Well, that's a good question. I don't know if you're on vacation or going to move here, but your driver's license is sufficient ID. How much cash should you carry? There's 2 rules of thumb, and the most popular one, I imagine, is carry what you think you're going to spend. So, like when I'm doing a budget, like April, I'm going to have to rethink my thinking, and I'm going to have to cut back on expenses because I bought the car, and I'm going to be fixing up the car, so I have to reallocate funds, and so I can go from $1,500 a month, $1,600 a month, down to $1,100 or $1,200 a month. And the reason it's not $1,000 is because the exchange rate has pushed us back a little bit. But so if I'm going out and I'm going to go have coffee and I'm going to go and I'm going to meet up with a friend, I always take twice as much as I think I'm going to spend. So if I think I'm going to spend 1,000 pesos, I take 2,000. But I've changed my MO. I now take a minimum of 10,000 with me because there are opportunities that May and I find shopping. And we might go look for something for her, bounce into a store, and we'll see that, like milk. Perfect example. We went into a Sari store. May needed to buy some soap or something like that. And they had 2-for-1 milk on sale. 2 for 1. So in other words, you bought a dozen milks, you paid for 6. Well, I bought 2 cases of it because we always use it, and it doesn't have to be refrigerated. It's in those cartons, and then what else? Oh, Gatorade. So May's gotten this new love affair with Gatorade, so we bought 2 cases of that because it was on sale, and I had the money available to do it. And if I hadn't have had the money, it would have been out of stock tomorrow or the next day. So that's kind of the answer. As far as ID, just any ID will work. Why are there so many single women in the Philippines who have kids? I think that my dad was raised in a small town, and he hated it, Muscatine, Iowa, when he was a kid. He wanted to go to Hollywood, and he joined the Navy and all that kind of stuff. And he told me, he says, there's two things to do when you live in a small town: fight and fuck. And so that's what you got going on here. There's a lot of boredom. There's a lot of hyperactive teenagers, young people that are hitting their sexual stride. And there's two things to do. There's nothing. It's boring. Live out, especially the province. They're not working. They're living with their mom and their dad. And it's a typical story. Same thing in America. Same thing anywhere else in the world. Boy meets girl. They're both 15, 16, 17, whatever. And they get together. And then that's just, and the average age is, I think, 26 here in the Philippines. So, you're in prime mating time for an age bracket. If the population was older, you wouldn't be seeing that, in my humble opinion. Let's see what I do. Oh, wait. Good morning. How you doing, Jonathan? Let's see. Lionel Humphreys. Well, thank you, Lionel Humphreys. We appreciate that. Good morning to you, my friend. I have a friend I want to give a shout out to, and I don't have my phone. I asked him what the guy's name. I think it's Barry. I have a friend who is in Mexico, and his traveling partner, they've been together in Mexico, kind of like myself and Gary, my best friend Gary, for the last 30 years. Him and I have been friends, and we've gone to a lot of places together, done a lot of things together. Just one of those kind of cherished relationships that if you're fortunate enough to have. Anyway, he's in Mexico with his best friend of a zillion years, and they love each other to death, as two men do without it being sexual. And his friend's got cancer and is dying. So I wanted to give him a shout out and just, that we're thinking about him. And that's it. Just wanted to give the man some recognition. Panorama City. It's where I was raised till I was 9 years old, buddy. I lived on Clearfield, 8808 Clearfield Avenue, I think it was. No, not 8808. That was my Copper Knoll address in Vegas. But it was Clearfield Avenue. Hey, I've been here years. I just did my U.S. income tax on mine. I realized I spent $20K USD. $1 million pesos saved. $10K. I was single trying. Yeah. I'm still waiting for my to do my income tax. I have to do my income tax for the very first time because of YouTube last year. And I haven't seen a 1099 yet. So I'll have to figure that out. Thank you very much again. No, I'm going backwards. Sorry. Here we go. Hey, thank you, Paul. Appreciate you watching, man. That's a great question. And to be quite frank with you, it sort of depends on my mood. I would have to think about that. It's hard to put pin a favorite. It depends. Sometimes I'm in a quiet mood. Sometimes I'm in a rocker mood. Sometimes I'm feeling kind of pensive, and he fits all those categories. And I'm just a big fan. Oh yeah, that's fine. That's I tell May play into it, and the minute we piss somebody off, we just do it all over again. I know. It's so funny. They crack me up. I remember a movie. Yeah, there was a movie called Bikini Car Wash. I didn't see it, but thank you. Thank you very much. It is. It's a Honda. It's a Honda Fit. It's got about 80,000 U.S. miles on it. It's had work done on it. What else was I going to tell you? I liked it because it was a four-banger, and a lot of them are 3 cylinders out here. And I don't think that there's anything on the car that can't be fixed. In fact, I know it because these guys out here, and labor is super cheap. If I run into any expenses, it'll be for parts, and then the parts will be delayed because they're going to have to come out of Cebu. There's no Honda dealership here in Dumaguete. And that doesn't really matter because none of the other stores have any parts anyway. Like I have friends that own Toyotas, and they go in to get something, they're out of stock on the part, and they got to order it from Cebu or Manila. So again, the car is a project, and it's something where I'm trying to kind of set myself up for the future, because there's going to come a day and time where I just can't ride the bike. And next year is going to be rainy season. So I just want to act now, be ready down the road. I've already determined that I'm going to be staying here. So, and it was such a good deal, I had to just jump on it. How you doing, John? You know, it's a trip is when I first moved here, George, there were hardly any cars on the road. And that was just 4 years ago. It was almost all scooters. It was cars, but not like there is now. And then about a year into living here, I started to notice more and more cars. And then 2 years in, it was just double or triple. And I said, if you don't know, I was in the car business. And I don't really have my finger on the local news, if you will. But I said, you know what? They've got financing going on. And sure enough, I looked into it and I started scouting around online. And sure enough, there it was. The car companies here in the Philippines were sponsored by the dealerships, and they had to put X amount of pesos down, and everybody got approved. And the repo rate out here is somewhere around 40%. And first payment defaults are right up there too. A first payment default is when you don't make the first payment. And so what people have done is, let's say they need 30,000 pesos down on whatever it is they're going to buy. Well, the family will scrape that all together, go in and sign a contract they don't understand at all, and just figure, okay, I can make that kind of payment next month when they can't. And then there you go. I was going to look into buying a bank repo, but again, I didn't want that new of a car. I just wanted an old beater. I just wanted something to go from A to B. And I wanted it to go forwards and backwards without any problems. And I wanted the air conditioning to work. And that was really my criteria for a car. Yeah, pimp my ride. It is, you'll be happy to know it is the Liberace edition. So you think the scooter is gay? Wait till you see the car. Good Lord. Supposedly have a Sex Pets laugh. Where could I get one of those? I didn't know Sex Pets had a laugh. How does that work? Yeah, me too, buddy. COVID stuff's getting old, huh? Middle Tennessee, are you surviving the floods? I get my news 3 days late out here, but how are you, Butch? Fresno, California. I have definitely been there. Fishing. I miss fishing. I made a copy of my bio page and my passport and had it laminated so it looked like a credit card size. Just carry that in my wallet, get an ECR card. Yeah, I keep most of my IDs, credit cards, and stuff like that in the safe. And And in fact, I got a new ACR card recently. So I put the new ACR card in the safe and I just take the old one because no one seems to notice. And it's basically you just need ID out here if you're going through a checkpoint. Because they don't have like traffic cops, they just have checkpoints. So when you go through a checkpoint, if you're driving, just so you know, if you're driving a bike or a car or anything like that, they're going to want to see your driver's license. And I have a Philippines driver's license. And they're going to want to see current registration on the car or bike. As long as you've got those two things, you're good. You're cool for school. Yeah, exactly. Oh, good for you, Daryl. I wish I had one of those accounts. Go ahead, rub it in. Congratulations. Let's see. Oops. What's going on here? Here we go. I don't drive, grew up within walking distance and not great on motorbikes. Is shopping, grocery delivery a thing there? Possibly only in the bigger cities. That would depend on where you live, how close you are. There's your walking distance. There are apartments, though I'm thinking about it, that are close to both Hypermart and Robinsons. And so that would be doable. In other words, you could take a trike or you could walk to Robinsons if you live, say, at the Hermagina Apartments, which is where I lived for 6 weeks. And you can walk to Robinsons from there. It's no big hump. And then just take a trike back with all your groceries and stuff. And a couple of stores are delivering, and they do have food delivering, Food Panda. So it can be done. I hate not having my own transportation. I hate relying on a bus or a trike or this or a motorbike because I just want to get up and go when I want to get up and go. But that's me. That might change in 5 years. You know, I may become more of a homebody. Why do they feel like foreigners more than Filipino men? Why do very young ladies go for older retired men? Well, that's a subject that's been beat to death on everybody's vlog and videos. I don't think the first part of the statement is true. I think that we see what we want to see. So there are a lot of successful Filipinos and Filipina marriages out here, but the men do tend to wander a lot. The job opportunities out here are not as good as they could be in other countries. It's typical third world stuff. So I think women are looking for security and men are looking for beauty. I did a deal with this car. We went to a lawyer. The lawyer was 50s, 60s or something like that. And he was telling us how he had been married for 30 years to this wonderful woman. But when he was 55, he was finally at the point in his career where he had extra money and the kids were raised. And the first thing he did was take on a 17-year-old girlfriend. That was the lawyer that drew up our paperwork, Filipino guy. So, and he's still married to the wife. The wife doesn't know, but he's got this mistress who's actually underage. Why do very young ladies go for older retired men? I would say just for the security, the money, status, get out of what they're in. Call a spade, right? I will on Willis Avenue. Oh, the vaccinations. I haven't seen vaccination 1 out here, not where I live. Okay, Mike, sure. Oh, you're going to visit for 20 days. Oh, okay, cool. You'll be perfect. You're fine. Yeah, just bring your driver's license and you're cool. And that's a great idea, by the way, coming out and kind of taking the temperature out here, seeing if you like it or not. There's a lot of things that, you know, we portray as, I always say we need to take the shine off the dime. I'm guilty of it sometimes, of overplaying it out here. For me, it was much more of a transitional mental thing, physical thing. But it's not perfect out here. It's not paradise. Keep getting called paradise. I kind of have a problem with that word. It's not exactly paradise. Good morning, buddy Trip. Are you still in Mexico? There's another thing too, is what happens with a lot of these young relationships that I was talking about earlier is boy gets girl pregnant and then boy leaves. Can't afford it. He's just a kid or he's a young guy, and he can barely take care of himself, much less a woman and a kid. So they bail. Same thing happens in America, right? Aren't there a lot of, what do they call them? Baby mamas or something like that? Guys got 5 or 6 chicks, they're all pregnant. Just very irresponsible behavior on my part. But I think the biggest disintegration of society is not having a father in the house. That's just me. Paul Gosler is from Panorama City. Let's see. Second vaccine coming up for me. Oh, good for you. I've not had a vacation or a haircut for over a year now. Right on. I was going to grow my hair out. Every time I try it, it looks like hell. And thanks for the super chat, boss. Appreciate you. I have a friend out here who didn't cut his hair, I think, for 5 or 6 years, and then just got it cut. Man, it looks a lot better with it cut, to be honest with you. No, airports are just completely nothing. The ferries are running. So people are going to Cebu from here. And there's a ferry that leaves out of a place called Cebulan. And it's about a 30-minute ride to the tip of Cebu, which is Santander. And guys have been going there and taking day trips. And they whale watching and all that kind of stuff. So they've been getting out of here and going there on the ferry. Let's see. Lots of young women in the Philippines know that a wife and child doubles how much dollars are retired. USA. If it's his kid and he's on Social Security, that's correct. Let's Dance and China Girl have been on my top list here lately. And May really likes those songs. She likes to jump around and dance to them. Still looking for April Fool stuff. Come on, guys. I need to torture baby May tomorrow with some kind of trick. We're doing good, Kevin. Okay. All right. I hope I can help someone. Let's see, where am I? Here we go. All right. I would not like to drive here because I know I will be a target for people who want to get rich quick. I haven't had any issues with safety out here, but that's here. From what I understand, the bigger cities like Cebu and Manila, they've got a lot of shoplifters and people will cut your backpack and stuff like that. But out here, I've just never experienced that. Now watch today, I'll go out and get robbed. Yeah, Buddy Tripp is in the house. I did. You'll have to watch the rerun. I don't want to repeat myself. So it all. Right on. Don't know to take one. You know, a guy went to. Thank you, Rick. I appreciate that. But a gentleman actually went to Walmart for me and videotaped the whole thing and bought me $200 worth of stuff that I've been needing. And May was watching, and she wants to go to America now just so she can go to Walmart. She couldn't believe it. I mean, the comparison is night and day. You go to an aisle here, and you can get one little shopping cart down at a time. And then she sees the aisles at Walmart where there's like 3-4 people, you know, just moving them freely. And he went and bought me some cargo shorts and which went right to them, And here it's an Easter egg hunt. There's no sizes. There's no order at all. I shouldn't say no, but there's very little. And so May was watching this guy went through Walmart and was videotaping it. And she was super impressed. From Iowa. My dad was from Muscatine, Iowa. It was raining today a little bit, which is kind of a welcome relief because it's been hot. Good to see you, Bob. I will definitely say hi to May from all of you. I'm a car finance guy, Question, will be typical dealers take 2 vehicles on a trade-in. One. Let's see, you're the only car finance guy. I can say, Question, will a typical dealer taking 2 vehicles on a trade with one? Yes. Yeah, they will. If you want to get the least amount of money for your car, trade it in. However, especially the bike, you might be better off taking the bike to a Harley dealer that can appreciate it for what it is. Because what's going to happen is the dealership's going to pick up the phone and call. They're not going to know. They're going to call a Harley dealership and find out, what would you pay for it, and then offer you less. I keep meaning to do a car video, but I'm going to do that with Mark because it's not about the Philippines. We're just trying to work that out. So yeah, the short answer is yeah, they'll take 2 trades. They'll take 4 trades. Seeing bosses of the subprime car trade used to say, "Us salesmen in our company make their first payment next time and then your car." Well, there was a guy in Vegas named Fred who was awesome. He was awesome at what he did. He was a terrible human being. And he made about $5 million on his used car lot and then moved back to Iran. But freaking Fred used to have these goofy commercials, and he would say, "I will finance you," and he would bank on it. So you'd come into Fred's lot, and you didn't have a job, you didn't have this, you didn't have that. Well, if you had $500, you could get the car from Fred. Freddie would sell you some awful car for $500 down, and let's just say $300 a month. And he couldn't wait for you to miss that payment because he was out the next day hooking the car, bringing it back, and he must have sold the same cars 20 times. I mean, how hard to buy any new ones? He just kept bringing back the ones they missed the payments on. And then if you missed a payment, he had all this fees and charges and lates and everything else. He was a true criminal. But as far as a businessman, he sure made a lot of money. Yeah, you can get those. I didn't get one of those. That's one of those things I regret. I got my passport, and I could have got like a credit card looking passport ID also. And I didn't do it. I don't know. Just being cheap. Let's see. And due to the climate, extending your age, is there more to do in Cebu? Well, there's a lot more. I have not spent much quality time in Cebu. I've gone there for immigration stuff. I've just kind of bounced around a little bit. And I know there's some vloggers there right now that are running around. And yeah, there's a lot more to do in Cebu. It's more expensive in Cebu. Right now it's cheap, but because supply and demand, nobody's coming in. So there's good deals to be had right now if you're here locally. I think that's why a lot of people have gone to Cebu recently, is because it's so cheap. And May and I have taken advantage of a bunch of dive resorts in Darwin where we spent the night because it's half price. So that's going to change. Let's see. You picked Dumageddon to the climate, age. There's more to do in Cebu. Yeah. Well, there's more to do in Cebu. What is a typical day of keeping busy? Every day brings its own little world to it. I have found that I look forward to the days where I have nothing to do. So for example, we may need to go shopping. We may need to go to immigration. We may need to go to the dentist. We may need to, I won't waterboard you with examples, but everything here, I shouldn't say everything, most things here take 3 times as long as they should. For example, I'll give you one more example. When I bought the car, we went to an attorney to do the transfer of the paperwork, and all the paperwork was cool. So I was very happy about that. The guy did a proper bill of sale, and it took 3 times longer than it should have because his assistant wasn't there, the attorney. We had to wait for her because she was the only one that knew what button he needed to push to print it out. He didn't know. So I do the vlogs. The YouTube thing came along as something I never planned to do. And I actually kind of got pushed into doing YouTube. And that's a whole other story. But that's what May and I do is if I get, like right now, I have nothing going on this morning. A little later on, we're going to do something. So I thought, what the hell? I haven't been live for a while. I'll go live. And so that's what I'm doing now. And it's always fun to meet new people. May and I like that a lot. We've had a couple of people move into our apartment complex because they saw the apartment on my channel or Mark's channel or somebody's channel. And they're now my neighbors. So just getting together with people. And I have absolutely no problem with just staying home all day and loafing around. And I tend to listen to my body. So there's days where May wakes up and she says, I feel lazy and she has a sinus or whatever. I go, that's all right. And we just stay home. Same thing with me. About twice a month, I'll wake up and it's just like, I don't feel like driving the bike. I don't feel like going anywhere. We've got food and water. So May, I don't want to do anything today. She's like, cool. And we just stay home. But we don't ever have, I don't think I've had a bored day here. There's always some place to go, unless it's raining really hard. You're kind of homebound. So that might be where you get a little quirky. Of course, the quarantine wasn't fun. No, there's an issue with going online over here. And so I need to do that from America. A number of guys have gone online, opened Charles Schwab, and they found out they were living over here, so they closed their accounts. So I don't want to fall into that. I like Thailand. I would pick Thailand in a heartbeat over the Philippines. And right now you can get there, I think, stay for a year. I have a new friend named Woody who has been living in Thailand for 10 or 12 years, something like that. And he moved out here because they kept changing the requirements. And one of the requirements was to have 25,000 US dollars in the bank. And he had that kind of money and he had it for a long time. But I don't pretend to know the dynamics. I would recommend, if you're interested, go on some Thailand vlogger, channels and check them out. Or the immigration rules. My friend AJ is in Thailand right now. And so that's my number one destination. Despite the language grief, I still prefer Thailand to the Philippines. I didn't care for Bali at all. I thought the countryside was beautiful, but it was like this, Bali had gotten really commercialized. It's like a zillion drunk Australians over there every night. It was kind of like, reminded me of Vegas, Bali, the city of Bali. And Vietnam was very clean, very organized, very modern, but the people didn't quite have the soul. You say once you'll never see anyone fishing. How can there be no fishing when you live on? Oh, they fish. They fish from the shore and catch fish. They go out in these little boats and fish and use nets. So there's fishermen out here. It's more biblical, though, than sport fishing. I haven't seen or heard of any vaccines here where I live. Slowly is what I'm hearing. The rollout is slow, if at all. I lived I had a British made 65 Cortina. It was a beater, and I spent the next day buying it, fixing. I bet it is too. And that's exactly my philosophy on this Honda, is that it's a bit of a beater. It was cheap. And I want an A to B car. And it doesn't look perfect, but I don't care. I just want to go from A to B, and I want it to be safe, and I want it to have air conditioning. So other than that, I didn't care. And again, it'll be a project. How are you doing over there, Butch, in Fresno? Changes. I'm not facing life. I'm wearing Americans. Some of my favorites. Some museums. Yeah, I saw. I think my all-time favorite Bowie was Diamond Dogs tour. I saw him at the amphitheater, and I remember who I went with. I remember where I was. I remember just being. It was the first show that I'd ever seen that was so well done, and the music was awesome, and those are all great songs. How's it going in Long Beach? I used to drive a forklift in Long Beach. The P did a great episode on Why the Attraction. Really good. Okay, good. Good morning, Jamie. Being a foreigner is a plus for a man no matter where you go. You're the new kid in town. I guess so. From what I hear, there's other places other than Dumaguete where foreigners tend to stand out more, and there's less competition, if you will. The thing is, for me, is where I guess I'm kind of fortunate, is that meeting a woman or getting into a relationship was it was barely on my list. I just wanted to stop working. I wanted to live someplace within my means. I wanted a change of pace. I wanted a change of view. I got all those things. And the whole Baby May thing just sort of evolved after 2 years of being here. But I got myself right before that happened. Yeah, there's a lot of cool places. May and I tend to travel inner island a lot when this thing lifts. That's our whole deal. That's why we're going to cut back in April on the budget. It's time to put some shekels aside. So we want to go to some places close, like Sikihor. We've been there before. I've never been to Bohol. We want to go there. And the number one place is Palawan. It's got the white sand beaches, and the owner of my apartment complex, he owned a place out there, so he's got some people he could hook us up with. And we want to go out there and just pretend we're tourists and pay too much for a hotel room. And then we want to pay too much for dinner. And we want to take the goofy boat cruise. And we just want to, pretend we're tourists, because we are, and stay for 3 days and then come home. And it's always nice to come home, Every time we go somewhere, we're both like kind of relieved that it's over with. That makes any sense. Yeah, well, if you put May into a Walmart, she'd argue that all day with you. Spaghetti's cool. It's actually wide open down here. I hate to brag, but we can go anywhere we want, whenever we want. I think the curfew is 10 o'clock. It's no big deal to me. I'm usually asleep by 7:30 or 8. And how is Dumaguete? The only hassle is you have to wear a face mask and a shield if you go into a big store. And then everybody walks in, gets past the magic line, the entry, and everybody lifts their goofy shield up and moves on with their day. Now, you can, just the license is good. If you're only going to be there for 20 or 30 days, and you have a rental, then I've never been hassled. I forget what the time frame is. The 90 days, I think you're right. It's been so long since I've done all that stuff. But yeah, you can come over here on your driver's license, rent a scooter or a car, and drive on it because they'll have the paperwork showing you're a rental. You'll have, your ID, and you just say, "I just got here. I'm hanging out for 2 weeks." And as long as it makes sense, they don't hassle you. At least here. I can't speak for any place else. Well, thank you. Yeah, well, we'll see. Here's the deal: is you never know really what you're buying until you get into it. And the prudent thing that I was going to do was have my mechanic look at it prior to buying it. And I'd already made up my mind that I was going to buy it. And I already made up my mind that if it wasn't perfect, which I knew it wasn't, that I could allocate X amount of dollars, and I think my guesstimation is good to bring it up to snuff. And the great news is I'm in no rush. I don't really care. I mean, I just dropped it off yesterday to the guy. He goes, "When do you need it?" I said, "When it's working." That's when I need it. So, and I also told him, I said, "Take your time, do it right. Don't cut corners. If you need money for a part that you got to order, let me know. If you can't get the part, let me know. If you think it's unfixable, let me know. The truth doesn't bother me." And so if I made a bad decision here, if it's completely, if it turns out to be a bad, I'll just sell it and take a loss and move on with my day and do it all over again. And my biggest thing is shaving. I get really lazy with shaving. I never liked shaving. So I shave like every 3 days. Yeah. Well, we don't want to be cruel. Well, I am looking for a way to torture the poor woman. What can I do to her? That might work. That might work. Yeah. I have goosed her a couple of times with a stick. Like she's in the shower, but not taking a shower. She's in there and she's like washing clothes. And I know she's deep in thought. And so she's doing the clothes washing thing. And I got this stick outside. So I went in and goosed her. And I actually videotaped it, but I didn't post it. But something like that appeals to me, is scaring her, but not to death. you know. Offshore visas open again. You're in Indonesia, right, buddy? Do you like Bali? I mean, are you in Bali or are you somewhere else? Are you in, was it Jakarta? Because I didn't go there. Maybe that's a different vibe. There you go. But I want it to be like physical humor. I'll tell you guys a secret. Yeah, thank you for Indonesia, Bali. I don't know. Are you finding it like me? I mean, I don't know if there's any tourists there, but when I was there was just a lot of drunk guys running around, and the vendors were driving me crazy. And so I don't know. Bali just didn't appeal to me. I do. It actually came with a dash cam of all things. I actually have it. The guy was, he's got a locking gas cap, and he's got an alarm, and he's got a dash cam, so he had all these security precautions. And he left it. He was going to take it originally, and then by the time we got done, I said, "Hey, take your dash cam for your new car," because that's his plan. He says, "No, you're cool. I'm going to give it to you." I said, "Okay, cool." So I got a dash cam. That is me, Adam. How are you? I'm from Canada. My fiance is a Providence girl living in Manila. We'd love to buy you, baby May, Marky's fiance stuff when we get there again. Well, that would be awesome. You don't have to pay. We can go Dutch, but we'd love to meet you. I think my internet's kind of floating in and out. Yeah, he is in Bali. Internet kids, hold on. April Fools, get some Filipino foods and pretend that you're making it. I could do that. Tell Baby May that YouTube canceled her channel. I don't think she'd recover from that. That would cut her a little deep, but that's a good idea. You know what? We got a chicken. We have a pet chicken now. An actual live chicken lives outside. Oh, I forgot to put the chicken up here. Sorry. Our wall got washed down, and he wandered in, and now we got a pet chicken. Was she impressed by the class? Well, you know what? When the guy went, it was really late, and it was not crowded whatsoever. And so, no, she didn't get to see all the snappy dressers at Walmart. She just saw the wide open aisles and guys spraying down the vegetables and the fruits and the meat and how it was individually wrapped. And how clean it was and how big it was, and the selection and organized, and the fact that they sold clothes and food, and it wasn't even a super Walmart, I don't think. And I told her you could go into a super Walmart and you could do everything that we have to spend all day doing and just knock it out. You can get a haircut, you can pick up your prescriptions, you can buy some new shoes, you can get your groceries, you can go to McDonald's and eat, and get your nails done, whatever. It's all inside. Yeah, you're welcome. Whatever information it was, you're welcome. And then they're coming over there in December for 3 months. There's some nice, there's been a lockdown for a year now. Yeah, somebody else asked me that question. Hey, baby, are you here? Yeah. What was the name of that hotel Ian stayed at? Sierra. Okay, Sierra Hotel is a real nice place. And then on the boulevard is the Bricks Hotel. So there's a couple of places that are like above average. And I think if I was, now you're coming for 3 months. Those would be the hotels that I would look at. But for 3 months, actually, you can rent an apartment here if it's available for 3 months. Furnished and all that kind of stuff. Off the top of my head, it's hard for me to, I'm thinking hotels, but the 3 month deal, I have a friend or a subscriber that called me and said, can I rent one of your empty apartments for a month? And I checked with the owner and she said, sure. So, because they come furnished with everything you need other than food, towels, plates, dishes, sheets, TV, anything and everything you need, all the appliances, a microwave. So these are fully furnished apartments. So you might want to stay here if one's available. Yeah. Recently, I've been watching Dana Carvey because I like to start my day with humor, and he does a great Biden. You guys get a chance, and if you want to see, just put Dana Carvey in it. He does this whole thing where he does an impression of Joe Biden. See, stuff like that wouldn't get to her. She'd just go, okay. It's got to be something where I scare her physically. I'll come up with something. Zero, buddy. I'm on empty when it comes to information like that. I don't know where I can go. What was I going to say? They had opened up the Philippines to everybody for 4 days. And then the mayor of Dumaguete said, no, you have to have a letter of acceptance before you come back. I mean, he made up his own little rule. And it was only in Dumaguete. And then they just locked down Manila again. I guess they had a bunch of outbreaks, there. And they went to ECQ. And so they're trying to enforce that. But to me, it's like the genie's out of the bottle already. So it's all knee-jerk reaction stuff. When do you ask your father to get a Schwab account in your name, you make money transfer from the other bank account, and you avoid all those fees. Well, I'm going to be going to the States. Thank you for the suggestion, but my father's 96, and that would be beyond what he'd be able to do. And I don't have anybody over there really to rely on for that. But it's still a big deal. I just Zoom over my money once a month, and it's no big deal. The only reason I want the Charles Schwab thing is it would be really cool to be able to hit an ATM without paying $10 for the privilege. And if May and I are traveling and I got the Charles Schwab ATM, I can go use the ATM, any island, any bank that's got a working ATM and get my money without fees. So that's the big appeal to me. Right now, it's not a necessity because I've got my fat ass parked here in Dumageddon anyway. And I never use the ATM. I've used an ATM, I think, 2 or 3 times, kind of an emergency situation where something came up and I needed a couple of $100. And it just cost so much. It was like $12 to get 200. What happened to China invades the Philippines? What are you going to do? I don't know. Is it really? They're going back to cash for clunkers. What a nightmare that was. Scuba diving. I don't scuba dive myself, but I did a vlog at a place called Pura Vida, and I interviewed the dive master, Tim, who's a real cool guy. He's one of like top 1% of the dive instructors in the world, and he's there. And from what I understand, the Philippines has some of the number 1 rated scuba diving in the planet. So there's a place called Danwan on my island that guys go to. And there's a number of marine sanctuaries where I've snorkeled, and it's beautiful. And then there's Apple Island, where I've been to twice, and I've snorkeled, and there's sea turtles floating around, which are really pretty creatures. That was it. I heard he went back to Iran. Yeah, GMF Motors, right? And we didn't have this is my friend Gary. And we worked and hang out. This is my 30-year companion. But didn't he have a commercial with his kid on a donkey or something? And he said, I will finance you. But he kept selling the same car to the same people. Give it away. Okay, for a retired expat, how long can you stay in the Philippines? It depends on what visa you're on. I can stay here. I can only speak for myself, so I will. I'm on a tourist visa. I can stay for 3 years, and then I've got to bail out for at least 1 day and then come back. So I was just talking to my friend Tom the other day, and he had hit the 3-year mark, and he went to Singapore and he flew in the afternoon, I think it was. He just stayed at the airport and then got right back on the same plane with the same crew and flew back to the Philippines, but the day had changed. In other words, it had crossed midnight. And so he had been gone. He started all over again. So that's, and then there's other visas that you can stay here like indefinitely and whatnot, but I'm not on those, so I don't speak about them. Jim Burns, if the vehicles were imported by you to the Philippines, when you move there, you can't sell them for 3 years. Okay, I didn't know that. This prank takes the control out of remote control. Use a teeny sticker to tape cover of the sensor of the clicker. No matter how hard they try, they won't be able to make it work. There you go. I should do something with her phone. I should disable it or something. Although you don't partake, how are the gyms there? There's one gym that I know of called the 4 C's, and the guys seem to like it. It's small. It's not the Las Vegas Athletic Club, that's for sure. But it's adequate, I guess. It's got enough machines for the guys to do what they got to do. There's a number of other gyms, but they're just kind of funky. You know, they're kind of run down looking, And so I think Cebu, all those condos that they have got some really nice state-of-the-art stuff, much more than here. So to answer your question, they're here, but they're not top-notch. Always good to recharge the battery is a true statement. Yeah, and like I said, I bought it, pulled the trigger for a number of reasons. I've been thinking about it, and I've been thinking about it over and over again. So that means that I must really believe in it. And then I was really buying it more for the future than for now. So that's why I bought a proverbial fixer-upper. Best account travel. Yeah. That's the one thing that I've been preaching is if you're coming over here, I hate to give advice, but I try to tell guys things that I know for sure. Always have your phone unlocked. Always keep an international number on your phone for at least 30 days. And if you can, open a Charles Schwab account. Hey to you too. Yorktown, Virginia. Awesome. I would love to go check it out. That's kind of the, I've got a lot of programs in my head. And so the first one is to do some island hopping. And then the one after that is I have to get to America, whether I like it or not. I need to go there for a couple of weeks, take care of some stuff, and then come back. And then I would like to take May to Thailand. I would like to take her, I don't particularly want to take her to Vietnam. I think she would really enjoy Thailand. Don't really have any great desire to go back to Indonesia. I think Malaysia would be interesting for both. I haven't been there, so I'd like to go see it. I hear different things from different people about it, but check it out for a week or two. I was talking to Mark the other day, my neighbor, and saying, we could go live if the visa worked. May and I could go live in Thailand for 3 months and do Airbnb and just kind of travel around. And then we could come back to the Philippines for 3 months. And then we could go to Malaysia for 3 months. We could just kind of live that way, see how we really like it. We might want to relocate to a different country. I don't know. I like keeping the options open, and I like to know what I'm walking into. And I want to make sure she likes it. Good morning to you, Dennis. Oh, good. Now let's see what happens to it. It's one thing to send it. It's another thing to get it out to the people. For the YouTube haters, how about May's channel doing how many bikini Philippines can you fit in the book? That's a good one. I like that. That's really good. Yeah, they did a bikini car wash to be released soon. We'll be on the outlook for Today with Baby May. I told her you're going to get 10,000 views on that. I don't know. I've never heard that. I think you keep a certain balance in there. Maybe. I don't know. I've never had a Charlotte account. I'll tell you when I get one. Yeah, it's nice to be breathing. And I'll definitely say hi to Baby May for you guys. Thailand looks good. Beautiful women, great medical care. The dollar goes far. The downside of the English isn't widely spoken. It shows the Yes, that's correct. All those statements are true. However, if you're I was only in Phuket and I was only in like a tourist zone. So there were actually some people that like vendors and whatnot that could speak English. I got involved with church over there. They had some great English speakers. So I was kind of spoiled while I was there. I was around a lot of people that were my friends, the Thai friends I'm still in contact with today from church that spoke awesome English. But the food, I believe, is much better. The medical care is light years different from this. And I don't know about the dollar anymore. I think I was getting 33 baht per dollar, something like that. I don't know what it is now. The biggest hassle I'm hearing with with Thailand is the visa. I'm confused about that. I think you have to carry insurance, and I think you have to have X amount of dollars in the bank if you want to stay there beyond a certain time period. But all those statements are very true. Hillbilly in the Philippines. How you doing, boss? Exactly right. All right. Well, when you come out, make sure you say hi. Stuck in Kentucky. Diamond Dogs. Yeah. Hi, Julie. Always nice to have a nice lady on the channel. So you nasty old men. Diamond Dogs was awesome. Awesome album. Awesome tour. I saw him when he was a Thin White Duke. I saw him. What else was he? I want to say Ziggy, but that wasn't true. Paul from Philly, now soon to be the Gatsby. All right. D30, that's Duterte. Put Manila on lockdown. So, yeah. I only heard that was happening in Manila and nowhere else. D30 is a reference to it's a shortcut to the name of the president. Yeah, that's right. That would be a good one. That's a funny idea, Paul. That's closer to home right there. You know what, Kona, I got to tell you, I have not traveled much. I have not been around. Like I'm not a well-traveled Philippines guy. One reason was when I got here, I did travel a little bit. And I said, well, this place is just like the last place. The architecture doesn't change. The topography doesn't change. The people don't change. So unless I was chasing waterfalls or something, which I don't do, I didn't see the real point in jumping around. So, but May and I actually might move to a different island if we find an island that we like, just for a change of pace. For 6 months, and if we hate it, we come back here. But there's a lot of options on the table right now. We're very open to some change. I think everybody's got a little, what's the word? Stir crazy, from the COVID thing. Sticking some corn inside. I also picked up some British Bit Cash just in case. Yeah. That's what we really want to do. That's like the number one hoity-toity place that May's heard about and is dying to go there. Kind of like Hawaii, I think. So I'm looking forward to it. The only thing I didn't like was dancing in the streets with Mick Jagger. What was David thinking? The video kind of creeps me out. Yeah. Well, they had an affair, right? Hamilton is amazing. I hope several Filipino foreigners should avoid the South in a major way. I'll deal with both tours. Yeah. Like I said, we would bounce and we would be there for 3 or 4 days, and it would be just the normal touristy stuff. What I found about safety and all that jazz is stick with what you know. Don't ever walk down any dark streets. Try to avoid nights, which is easy for us because we're early birds. And the good news is May and I don't drink a lot. Every now and then I'll have a couple beers. She doesn't drink at all. So there's no way of making those drunk decisions. Those days are over. I don't use any bank. I had BDO, and then they wanted to know where my cash came from. And I said it came from my pocket, and that didn't go over real well. And then they wanted to hold cash for 30 days before I could access it. So in other words, I got deposited $1,000 cash, 10 $100 bills. And then I went to the ATM to draw some out in pesos, and it wouldn't work one day without announcement. They just changed the rules. So I just closed my account, and I haven't opened up another bank account. However, now that I've said that, there's a place called Commerce Bank here in Dumaguete that a lot of the guys I know use and they like. So I'm thinking about opening up an account there and putting maybe $1,000 if I can, just to have another avenue to cash. There's only one branch. It's not like it's all over the place. And if I wanted to get that cash, I would have to drive to Commerce, which is not really close. But if it's expat friendly, and from what I understand, after 6 months, they'll give you a credit card, which is always nice to have a local credit card. So we'll see. But that's kind of on my radar. Under Pressure. Yeah. And there's been a lot of versions of that. He does that with Gail Dorsey also. He does that song with his bassist, Gail Dorsey. And that's awesome. It's on YouTube. Yeah. I did tell her that they didn't sell rice in America. This table. And she bought into it for a long time. I said, yeah, they only have potatoes. There's no such thing as rice. That's for sure. That's a natural fact right there. But you would get a flavor for the weather. You would get a flavor for the food. There could be some immediate deal breakers. My friend Gary, who was on here a little while ago, he came to the Philippines and stayed 3 days or 4 days and just said, no, this is not for me, and left. It was enough for him. He didn't even need 20 days. He just knew he didn't like it. He didn't like the heat. He didn't like the people. He didn't like this. He didn't like that. Not the people, but he didn't like the vibe or whatever. The lack of sanitation, things like that. So you're right. I gave myself 6 months before I made up my mind, because you can come here and be just blown away by one thing or another. Maybe it's the cost is so cheap, you think, or the women are so beautiful, or this or that or the other. And then you go home and you say, wow, I got to go back there. So I would agree with your statement. I would say 6 months is a good, get you past that honeymoon period. And it also gets you past what I experienced was the confusion period. Where I was just like a deer in the headlights, lost for a long time. And then after 6 months, I said, yeah, I do like it here. And there were a number of times that I said, I don't like it here. So a lot of truth in what you're saying. However, it would give you a quick fix of the food and the weather. When it's live, yeah, I never planned. I don't schedule these. Just thought I would do it. Yeah. That's about how old this little Honda Fit is. I think it's 13 or 14 years old. And hopefully it'll hang in there. Yeah. She just look up at me and say, can I have another one? Good to see you, Joshua. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I need to do. Something that jumps or pops and just scares her. Because like I said, I goosed her with a stick one time when she was bent over. And everything flew out of her hands, and she turned around and she just started laughing, but she also chewed me out. I don't know. I'm the most boring guy. I don't go anywhere. Yeah, we want to bounce all over the place. Davao, I think we want to go to. Just kind of look around. No. Have you seen Gio and Young Paul's videos on Mocktown? That complex is like many ever need without locking it. It's just similar to Big Rock. Yeah, let me put up. I was talking to Mark about that. One thing I think that they failed to do on that, this is not a criticism, this is just an observation, is the prices are low right now because of supply and demand. So I think that there should be a disclaimer put up where those prices are today's COVID prices. Just like May and I have gone to these dive places for half price. Everything's cheap right now. But when it opens up, what's going to happen, boys and girls? it's going to fill up with people. Supply is going to diminish, and the demand is going up, and so will the price. So I was chatting with my friend Gary, who actually lived in that complex, because we did watch it. I wanted to see it. It was a good video. It was a nice place. And he said, man, I was paying $35,000 and he's paying 22 or whatever the number was. And I said, well, look at when you lived there. It was before COVID. So I did see it, but those are cool. I mean, that would be a place for a guy that is looking for a more metropolitan lifestyle, a gym, the pool, cleanliness, safety. That's all right there. The big downside to Cebu for me was the traffic and the cost of living. I think the cost of living is going to go way up. But yeah, they are similar to Big Rock today. I would like to see after COVID what happens with that. I haven't seen a snake one. Not one snake since I've been here. I've seen pictures of them. Exactly. Would that get me in some trouble if I posted something like that? Like, okay, you can all come in now. That's funny. Yeah. I don't know. I was talking, I'm not supposed to have gotten it yet. Social Security people and SSI and disability people are supposed to be rolling out April 1st. I watched this guy on YouTube, and he's name's Logan Alec, and I like his information. And so when I got mine, I'm the only one that got it. My neighbor get it. My friends that I chat with that are on Social Security didn't get it. Why mine fell in the bank, I have no clue. There you go. That would be like a little pleasant April Fool's. She doesn't know what April Fool's is, though. See, I'd have to, after I pull the prank, I got to explain the whole thing. Thanks for the super chat. I like that. I was thinking, what kind of shit could I stir on Facebook or something if I put that up? No, I can't. And you can in Cebu. That's another feather of the cap for Cebu, I suppose. Man, I used Grab when we went there. We had to go to J Mall for immigration. And I love Grab. I just love it. You just load some money up on your phone and hop in the car and hop out and give the guy a rating, and you can tip if you want to. And but it's half the price of a taxi and super convenient. Yeah. How about a fart cushion? Can somebody get me one of those fart cushions by tomorrow? I live in Valencia, Carlos, which is just up the hill, if you will, from Dumaguete. There you go. That might be cool. Yeah, a fake creature or a spider or something that jumps would be good. All this BS is all for profit. Nothing to do with public health. It's all about profit. Follow the money, boss. Never let one good crisis go to waste. Well, thanks for joining, Don. Nice to see you. Welcome aboard. Put a spider on a string. When she opens a can and jumps down with a string attached to the door. That would work. I think that'll be my mission today. Is we'll go shopping. I'll just excuse myself for a while. Okay, sounds good. I'll be there at some point in time. I don't know when. I don't know when I'll be there, boss, but I'll take you up on that. We can definitely get together for lunch. Don't need it up front, boss, and you don't need to send it to me. But you can contact me, and I'll put you in contact with him or her. It handles all of that. And it would be $20K security deposit plus $20K. So $40K to move in. That's what May and I paid. And then after that, it's just $20K plus utilities. Good morning, Mr. Ron. Hi, David. I am doing well. Good morning, Saudi Arabia. I'm not. That's the last thing I need is another app. I get lost already between people sending me emails, and Messenger. So I go back and I go, where was that message? Was that on an email that the guy sent me, or was it on Messenger? See, I'm old. I get confused easily. I go to look for something and I can't find it. My friend Ian sent me a bunch of baby pictures the other day. I hadn't seen them for 6 days. I just went past it. Why have an international? I'm sorry, I didn't hear why, so you can call back home. Oh, okay. Here's the story on that. You have your phone. You're coming to PI, right? You're coming to Philippines, or you're going to Vietnam, or you're going anywhere out of the country. You have your phone, and you have Verizon or T-Mobile, and you're going to. The reason I say do this is go to your carrier, say Verizon, and tell them you want to have the ability to receive and make international calls and text. Cost me $15 for that privilege. I don't know what the charge is for you. And have that for at least a month. And here is why. If you're coming over here, you're going to want to, I'm assuming, if you don't have a Charles Schwab account, you may want to use a money transfer service. I use Zoom. So for the sake of this conversation, we'll just keep it to what I do. The very first time I transferred over my Zoom money, they have security measures in place where they will call you to verify that you requested the money and not some guy in Nigeria, okay, that's hacked your account. And so that's a security precaution. It's awesome. So when I did my first transfer, it said pending, and then my phone rang, and I picked it up, and I got some guy that said, hey, I'm calling from Zoom, and I just want to verify you. Give me your name, you give me this, what's your dog's name, what street did you live on? And I did all that with him, all the security questions. And he said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and approve. He says, this is only for the first time. Now, the reason I emphasize that is that I know of a minimum of 3 guys that I know personally that went to transfer their money via some service, not necessarily Zoom, and couldn't get the freaking text or phone call. So the company, let's call it Zoom, tried to call them. Phone wouldn't let them go through. They couldn't verify the security questions. They couldn't get their money. They went through about a week of agony. And finally, I don't know how they did it. I think emails or something, or whatever they did. So it's just the reason I make that, I emphasize that is to save you a lot of brain damage, strictly for changing money. Now, guys will tell you can get a free plan on the internet. That's if you have an internet connection. Realize that you may not have an internet connection. Could be a brownout, could be this, could be that. We had a brownout, I think yesterday or the day before, and it was like for the whole place, not just Valencia, New Maggetti, everybody had a brownout for 5 or 6 hours just out of nowhere. Imagine if you were trying to transfer money right then and there. The phone call will hold, but what do people use? Google Voice or something like that? That's not going to work. It's going to get cut off. So that's my long-winded explanation. But I feel passionate about it because I don't want anybody to have any brain damage. Fishing should be fun. There are places that I could go to fish, but there are other islands. Somebody was telling me that there was a guy that they know out here with a boat, but I didn't follow up on it. It wasn't even a denominational church. It was just it was a non-denominational Christian church. And I met some of the most awesome people. I went on trips with them. The pastor and his wife spoke perfect English. A woman named Numi, who I became really good friends with, spoke perfect English. Patty was another woman that spoke English. Everybody wants to speak English. So I actually volunteered. Every Sunday I went to church there, but I would stay afterwards for an hour. And a lot of them were really good with their English. And so that they wanted to do conversational English. They didn't want to learn dog, cat, run, see, spot, all that jazz. They just wanted to use the words in conversations, and they wanted me to critique them. So we would do that for an hour, and it would turn into 2 hours. And because we'd always, eat some rice and take a break and hang out. And so that was fun. There was a class of about 20 people, and I would have conversations with them. And then I would try to correct their diction or whatnot, sentence structure, that kind of stuff. Could be, buddy. I don't know if Schwab's got a limit on how much you can get out of the bank, but the ATMs here will sometimes only allow you to take out $400 as a kicker. So some guys have to go to the ATM if that's their only way of relying on money, and rents do. Sometimes they got to go to the ATM 2 or 3 times. Do you take Venmo for one-time? I don't know what Venmo is, Steve. Really? See? It just keeps, you think it's good and then it's bad. You think it's okay and then something else happens. Everything's good, Mike. Yeah, that's what my friend did. He used an agent, and he actually had a cluster F the first time. He got turned away at the airport, even using the agent. Good morning. Welcome aboard. Nice to see you. We have some ladies here with us today. It's always good. Four years. I need to go. You must be talking with the patron. I don't see these guys in the chat. I don't know what that means. What time is it? 8. Oh, let's get your coffee again. Thanks, Bobby. Thanks, sleep. All right. Nice. Oh, you did? Are you in the States? We're in the Philippines. Oh, it says hillbilly in the Philippines. I heard guys get their accounts closed. Do you find a gated? How do you find it? I don't know. I've never looked for one. Don't mean to be flip, but I've only been there for a few days. Yeah, that's Mark. We're going to get together a couple times a month, and we're going to talk about anything and everything other than the Philippines. We're just going to, in fact, we did a video last night at about 5 o'clock, and we both deleted it. We were trying to film the same video at the same time. It was our big idea, was we were going to do, he was going to have his camera on, I was going to have my camera on, which we did, and our microphones on, which we did. And so he was making a video, I was making a video, and we were both making the same video. And then we were going to launch it off of our respective channels at the same time, just as a gag, just as something to do something different. And my phone ran out of memory So the video cut off, and then the audio was funky on mine and his. And so we looked at it and we looked at each other, and I just said, yeah, screw it. We just both deleted the video. But it was another one of our talking head things that went on for about 30 minutes. So next time, I think, and we went off location. We went off up the hill. We were trying to get a different point of view for you guys and let you look, different background. But I think next time we'll just do it off my patio or his. And we'll have to test things out a little better. Good morning, young lady. Thank you very much. Make sure you also tune in to Baby Today with Baby May, guys. I have to plug that or I'm in big trouble. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. If you want to see a bikini car wash in your future, you need to subscribe now because spaces are limited. Yeah, there you go. I should trick her with some food or something. Tell her it's balut because she likes that friggin' balut. There you go. That's an idea. Now that's an idea. That's a really good idea. I like that. I've never done that before, but that would be funny, especially in the toilet. Yeah. Now it's gotta be physical comedy, gag stuff, Laurel and Hardy crap is actually their brand of humor, and mine too. I like physical comedy, so that's funny. That's a great idea because I've got saran wrap. Yeah, that's my problem. I don't have a U.S. address. A virtual hug with one back at you. That's a good question. Actually, if you tune into, I'm going to do it again, Today with Baby May, and make sure you subscribe. She's going to have a video up of them washing the car, but they're wearing only bikinis. So the faint-hearted, careful. Me too. It wasn't culture shock. It was just went through, I don't know what I went through. I actually did a video about my first 30 days, and I should redo that video. Come on, man. You guys need to tune into Dana Carvey. You want to hear some Joe Biden. That's not a bad idea either. I should do like 3 or 4, right? Video all of them and then just put it together as a little video special. I like these ideas. See, now we're cooking. Put her phone up high in a room and then call her. And then the saran wrap on the toilet and then some jumping bugs. Oh, man. She'll know what April Fool's is after that. You know what? There's a couple of married couples that I've seen out, but I haven't seen any single, like middle-aged or older vloggers. There's young women that go out and run around in their 20s and 30s, and they're just kind of traveling the world and vlogging. But are there retirees here? There's a few, but not too many. There are some foreigners that are females that are like my age that have retired here. But just there's not very many. You got it. And that's something. Supply and demand, right? Yeah. Yeah. There's people making money off of it. I don't use a VPN. I hate computers. I'm on a computer right now, and actually, I dread opening a computer. Except for now. Now I'm having fun. I'm chatting with you guys. It's not, I'm talking instead of trying to type, which comes a lot more natural to me. is I'm just verbal. And, but I hate the hunt and peck crap. That's why I hate emails. I'd much rather talk to somebody on the phone than text them or type them an email. I don't know. I'm in what do you call it? The Philippines. Oh, well, let me go back. Oh, you're talking about when I was in Thailand. I lived in Phuket, and the big walking thing there was, what was it called? Bangla Road. It's just a bunch of go-go bars. You know, if you've been to one, you've been to all. Peace and love to my friend, Sir Ian. We were just talking about, I couldn't remember the name of the hotel you stayed at. And it may reminded me it was the Sierra. But Ian came out and we went to Sikihor together. Come on, guys. Come on, man. You know, hit the like button. Come on. I'm going to learn how to do Biden. Then I'm going to do a whole show. He'd be easy. He'd be an easy one. Dumagetti Kid's doing all right. I think Dumagetti Kid's going to bail out here in about 6 minutes. It's going to be 8:30. When did I come on? How long have I been on this friggin' thing? Oh, man, almost 2 hours. Whew. You know, I always mean to come on this thing for like 30 minutes, and it turns into 90. Now it's going into two hours, so. I've got my girlfriend eating her mini tacos. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same shape, Ron. I haven't been looking for them, but I see a lot of tocos, you know, little lizards. They're in the house, for Christ's sake. But I know there's supposed to be a bazillion snakes, but there's some tree snakes up on Abbey Road. Bud Brown just did a video. My friend Bud Brown does videos also. He's a vlogger. And he went up and looked at the same house I looked at, which is on a place called Abbey Road. It's a compound up here in Valencia. And it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath house. It's for rent. And man, I went and looked at it. And I didn't vlog it, but he did. He has a drone and all that. But there's snakes in the trees up there at that house that I've heard about. No. In fact, I was thinking about next month dialing it back. It's weird, man. Sometimes I get really motivated and can't wait to do videos. It's like fun and got new ideas or fresh thoughts or interesting people to talk to. And then other months I don't care. I'm just tired of it. And I just focus on May. I'll just help her with her channel, if you call it help. I'll hold the camera. So I don't know. It's a hobby still, thank God. Very difficult, buddy. We call it the used vegetable market. So I'm going to say no here in Dumagetti. Other guys are going to argue with me and say, yeah, I can get it over here, here, and here. But as far as I know, there's no Whole Foods. It's just imported from Cebu. A whoopee cushion, that's what it is. Can you find a decent job that pays about $50 an hour? No. Okay, now we're cooking. Now we're talking. The flip-flops is a great idea. The rubber snake is a great idea. The saran wrap on the toilet paper, on the toilet seat is a good idea. What else did you guys come up with? That's kind of simple stuff. Oh, hide her phone up on top and then call her. That's a great idea. I'm going to do all of them. Yeah, man, I do. I do remember that. Who was the other guy? Who was the guy that used to ride the Buffaloes? What was his name? Cal Worthington. Remember him? Okay, Ellen, I will. My little hippie chick. She's funny. She's super intuitive about people, and um, she's been proving herself right and me wrong for like the last 2 weeks, because I had an opinion of some people that differed from hers. Hers was much more critical. And then it came to the surface that she was right the whole time. So I've been hitting the old unfriend button quite a bit recently. And that's great. Don't you wish life worked that way? That, like, the guy in the cubicle that's bothering you right now, if you're at work and he's being annoying or obnoxious or whatever, you could just hit the block button and do it like Facebook and just say, okay, I'm done with that one. That's the beautiful thing about it, is when you're retired and when I'm retired and I make some of the acquaintances, I came over here alone. I'm perfectly content being alone, and having nice friends is great, and it's a great bonus. But there's not one of them I can't walk away from. And I've done that. And it's just like, no problem. I was thinking that, and that's no big deal in and of itself, but I was thinking, boy, I bet there's a lot of people that in real life wish they could do that. Yeah, I didn't want to go there, but Oh no, Baby May is my bodyguard all day. Is that right? I don't know. Thanks, Winky Dog. Cheers to you, too. I'm wondering if that's not who I think it is. No, but after all these suggestions, she'll have it firmly cemented in her brain. No, absolutely no concept. Another thing that surprised me, I'm going to go off in a minute. It's 8:30, so I'm going to give it, I'll give it 13 more minutes, because that'll be an even 2 hours, which will be the longest I think I've gone. But what surprised me out here is there's no Santa Claus. And then I came to realize that there's no Santa Claus because most parents can't afford to give their kid anything and everything they ask for. So at least here, there's no Santa Claus. Transfer-wise, never a problem. Money from UK straight into my Thai account. I use a card local tour. There you go. Yeah. Keep the line open between you and your home country. I say at least for 30 days. Venmo is a phone app. Oh, okay. All I need is another app. 1,000 a day. Oh, cool. The issue might be, at least here in the Philippines, is being able to get that much out of the ATM at one time. You might need to go to 3 or 4 different ATMs to make that happen. Believe it or not. Where is Harriet? Harriet's out jacking around with her garden. Oh, Harriet. Wait, I remember now. I was thinking Edith. No, but Harriet, yeah. Harriet's the one that hassled me, right? I was thinking Edith for a minute. I thought you were referring to May. Thumbs up are always nice. Just make sure you hydrate afterwards, because I know it's a big effort to hit that like button. Yeah, Harriet. Remember freaking Harriet? There was a vlog I did, a video I did that about my nightmare trip from Saigon or something like that. I can't remember my own videos. And this woman just chewed me a new one, and it actually turned into a whole thing on that video. Yeah, but I just forgot about old Harriet. Where's Harriet today? So I guess we're all sold on Schwab. Can live on 2,000 a month there. I think 2,000 is a great number. Yeah, we have fun. We enjoy bouncing stuff off of each other. It's kind of like a no pressure video. It's really fun just to sit back and have a conversation. And then Mark always says, "Hey, what do you want to talk about?" And I generally say, "I don't care. Why don't we just wing it?" Because that's how I do my videos. I try to wing it. Like if I interview people, which I'm going to get away from. I'm going to get away from the interview thing as much as possible. A couple of things I still have on schedule, if you will, but I'm going to get away from the vlogger promotion. This one's got a channel, that one's got a channel. I'm going to get away from that. It's backfired to some degree. Yeah, everybody feels that way, boss. And TD Ameritrade, they're emerging. My TD Ameritrade, Charles Schwab. Cool. Nope. No Easter Bunny. No, none of that stuff, because it would just set up the kids up and the parents up for failure. They don't have enough money in many, not all, but in many cases out here. The money is so tight that there are no Christmas trees, there are no presents, there are no Easter egg hunts. That's just a luxury people can't afford. I saw a picture a couple of years ago of a father that took his son to Jollibee for the first time. And it wasn't like his birthday or anything. He just took his son to Jollibee, something that I took for granted. But he had to save up for over a month to take his kid out for, a burger and fries and a Coke. That father had to save for 30 days. So you can imagine how Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny, they just don't make it here. They would just be setting up everybody for failure and disappointment. Yeah, there are a lot of reasons to have it. I don't like the parking situation as a hassle. I already told May, because May wants to drive in the car when it's running. She wants to go in that 24/7. She likes it. For some reason, she's tired of hanging on to me in the back of that gay-looking little scooter, holding on for her life. And I was breaking her balls the other day because she got into the car when we did drive it. She had her mask on. I said, "Where's your helmet? You should put the helmet on too." I would say that there's a number of, it's more modern, and I'm referring to Cebu. It's more modern. There's more high rises. There's more condos. Infrastructure, I think, is better. There's more food selection. Medical is better. I can vouch for that because I know guys that go there specifically to get their annual physicals. They don't do it here. They go there to do it. So yeah, it's just more metropolitan. And like I said, it's more expensive. Now it's cheap, but if you're thinking about Cebu, I would not rely on information that you're seeing in today's videos as far as prices. You might see somebody say, "Wow, I'm renting this place for $20,000." And by the time you get here, it might go to 30, 35, 40. I'm just going to wait, until I get to the States. It's that critical that I have this account. These are kind of like stuff that I want to do. It's like the car, I don't need a car. I don't even really want a car, but I know that in the future, it's going to be something that I'm going to have to revert to. And having backup, I still prefer the scooter. My preferred method of travel is a scooter. I can get there faster. Parking's no hassle. You just pull up in front. You got a parking attendant at every big place that you go, and you hop off and you walk away, and the attendant will put your bike away for you, and you don't do that with a car. I had my friend's car for a month when he went to America a couple of years ago, I think it was. And I just parked it after a week. I got frustrated because everywhere I went, there was no parking spaces. So anyway. I'm going to miss some of your comments, kids, because I'm going to bail out of here. Let's see. Is Baby May going to take over the interview? Yeah, pretty much. She already has, if you haven't noticed. I want to get away from that. I want to get away from, I definitely want to get away from interviewing people with channels they're just starting. It's getting kind of old. It's getting kind of a one-way street. And anyway, that's also on the council of other people. So that I'm going to get away from. Just some new stuff that I like to do. Like I really enjoyed the chats with Mark. The air, I don't know. You know what, buddy? I honestly don't know. I've only been there, like I said, for 2 or 3 days. So when you're in congestion, you're in congestion. It's not that great. Let's see. By my fiance. Christmas tree. Yeah, I did a whole Christmas tree. We do the Christmas tree thing here. Okay, so let's see. We're gonna wrap it up. Okay, I'm doing the same ones. I think I've hit the end of the line here, maybe. Hi, Jack. Zane. Ralph Williams. You remember Ralph Williams and his? I thought it was Ralph Williams. I remember. I can't think of his dog spot. Carl, something. I do remember a Ralph Williams vaguely. All right, kids. I'm going to sign off. I've been at this for 2 hours. I've enjoyed talking to you. Thank you for joining us or joining me. Baby May's out playing with her plants. Thank you for the suggestions. There's stuff that I pranks, the saran wrap and all that. I'm going to plug it one more time. Today with Baby May. Make sure you guys tune in. Please subscribe to her little channel. It'll make her happy. And she's going to have an awesome video coming out with the car and with the girls. And all you dirty dogs can enjoy yourself watching that. I actually left during the whole episode. I went and had coffee with a friend. It was too much estrogen for me. All right, guys. I will see you next time. Thanks again for tuning in. Cal Worthington. That's what it was.